Am I the asshole for kicking my brother-in-law out and reporting my therapist? Let me explain. Even though I don't like to talk about it. Male, 25 was involved in an auto accident, I was the one driving, and lost my dad who was with me at the time. I had untreated PTSD for nearly a year. I couldn't speak about it to anyone. My sister got me in therapy 2 months ago because she said that I needed it. This is our first holidays without Dad and I wasn't intending on doing anything this year, but the family decided to come and spend time with me. My aunt, my cousin and her kids, my sister and my brother-in-law, and my mom. My brother-in-law started bringing up the accident in detail exactly the way I'd describe it, like he heard it from me, the number of sessions I've attended so far. Brought up the name of my therapist and asked if he's the one I've been seeing. Then he started asking me how I'm doing, if my therapy sessions are benefiting me or not, and telling the exact time I got into therapy. And then casually said that I shouldn't tell people that I feel responsibility for what happened, implying that I told my therapist that. I was taken aback. I asked how he knew all that. My sister said she didn't tell him and I didn't tell anyone. My brother-in-law looked confused when he noticed how upset I was and said that it was a coincidence, the therapist happens to be one of his friend's brother. He's known my therapist for 5 years and that's how he knew, since his friend said my name sounded familiar. I was shocked. Everyone was looking at me and my aunt started talking about me, telling everyone about the accident. I was so infuriated I found myself lashing out at my brother-in-law and he started talking about how I need to deal my anger issues, disregarding that he told the entire family about my sessions. After arguing with him and listening to him blaming me for how I reacted, I ended up telling him to leave. My sister sided with him, then they both left. My aunt defended him and said that I shouldn't have yelled at him and hurt my sister's feelings. That he was just worried about me. I was so mad, especially when they all started guilt-tripping me and berating me for what I did. I sent my therapist an email telling him what happened after I couldn't get a hold of him, and mentioned that I will be reporting him and file a complaint against him for disclosing information without my consent. So far I haven't heard from him, and what bothers me is that I'm not close with those people and hearing them gossip about me like that is not okay. My brother-in-law has always been like this, but it never occurred to me that he'd do this. The family said I ruined dinner for them and that I overreacted and was lashing out at everyone for no reason. I feel terrible. They said they gathered to comfort me and I caused a scene. Not the asshole. Your therapist definitely should be reported and hopefully lose their license. Therapists should never be sharing their clients' names, much less going into detail about what the clients are sharing with them. The people who ruined dinner are the people who decided to spend time with you, and then did not stop your brother-in-law from deciding to share what is going on with your therapy to the rest of your family. You rightfully wished that your privacy be valued, but he couldn't be bothered to show you that respect. The person who ruined dinner was your Bill, and everyone who sided with him. Not the asshole. I'm sorry this happened to you. You're not the ass at all. Your therapist violated your confidentiality and that's a very serious thing. Report them and let them suffer the consequences. Focus on your betterment and it doesn't matter what others say. You didn't ruin Christmas. I really hope you're able to find peace someday. Not the asshole. Report the therapist and cut ties with your brother-in-law if that means sister goes to that's her fault for siding with Bill. Not the asshole. HIPAA laws exist for a reason. Your therapist is an idiot and your brother-in-law is a terrible person. How can you pry into someone's personal pain and then weaponize it in front of others? Honestly, I can't fathom your pain. I hope you find a way to cope, for this situation is totally unfair to you. Not the asshole. Report him and contact an attorney. You may not want to sue him, but not only do you need the money back from the therapy that you paid for, but he should be paying for the extra therapy you're now going to need because he has violated a ton of oaths. Not the asshole. Follow through on reporting him. I know your trust was betrayed, but please find another therapist. Don't let this despicable excuse for a therapist keep you from getting help. Maybe a referral from your primary care doctor. What about your sister? She got you into therapy. Did she choose the therapist? Seems too coincidental to me. As a mental health professional myself, yeah, you're within your rights to report. I legally cannot confirm or deny if someone is my client without written consent from them. It breaks HIPAA. We're trained on this. The therapist should know better. It honestly makes me mad, because this is why people avoid therapy. I'm guessing after this you'll have some TR rust issues about going at all. Who wants to worry about their therapist gossiping about them with friends? It's messed up. Edit. Just realized something. Your sister was the one to get you into therapy. Did she choose one for you? If so, there's a chance they planned this, that she chose a therapist her husband knew on purpose. If that's the case, I'm very, very sorry, but if that's what happened, you have a right to know about it. Not the asshole. There are laws to avoid exactly this. Report the therapist and said to brother-in-law that the therapist will lose the job because of him. You don't tell people what others said in a therapeutic season. You are the only one in this story who's not the asshole. Therapists are legally bound to confidentiality. They're not supposed to go gossiping about the stuff their clients tell them. Your brother-in-law has zero social skills if he thinks this is appropriate Christmas dinner talk, even if you'd told him these things yourself. And the rest of your family should have been on your side. I'm sorry about everything. Not the asshole, but wow, as tour therapist, brother-in-law. I'm really sorry you had to go through this. Please try and find another therapist because the right one can work wonders and really help when you're grieving. I'm so sorry this happened. Please file a formal complaint to the therapist and her professional association. If she work at a clinic or for a physician or psychiatrist, make sure you write to them as well. He's a liability for them in malpractice. Your family sucks big time excusing his behavior. NTA. The therapist has no right to reveal what you said in private. Your bill had no right to ask about your therapy sessions. And no one should be complaining about what you said in therapy in private. It defeats the purpose if you don't feel comfortable sharing your true thoughts. Please switch therapists ASAP. Tell them not to give your private info out to anyone. Have a passcode on your account. Not the asshole. The people siding against you don't realize the impact of this situation from your point of view. Also, good job for filing a complaint against your therapist. Not the asshole. Report him yesterday. Not the asshole. This is a huge breach of trust. Your therapist should lose their certification. Not the asshole. Report the therapist and make sure you see it through. He needs to be fired and lose his license credentials. Not the asshole. Everyone except you is an asshole. Not the asshole. Report that therapist to the licensing board. Post a review on every site you can think of telling how they breached confidentiality, and sue TF out of them for increasing your PTSD. You are the asshole. I saw this exact story a few weeks ago. Go become original. Not the asshole. You were right to throw that asshat out. Not only did he air your private conversations with your therapist, but he also repeated it to your family. What a dick. You're also right to report this therapist. That is so unprofessional. Grief is very personal and you are dealing with that on top of the shock of your Bill's dick move. Losing it like that is understandable. Your family is also grieving, so I hope after a cooling off period, they will realize that they were wrong to berate you for being upset. You are not the asshole. Brother-in-law and therapist are both the asshole here, as well as anyone who said you were making a big deal or overreacting. Your feelings, all of them, are absolutely justified. Not the asshole. I don't necessarily even blame your brother-in-law here, since he really could have been speaking out of concern. The therapist, on the other hand. You need to report him. He breached confidentiality in a horrendous way. I'm very sorry. ETA. Updating. Many thanks to Craley below for flagging updates to say that your brother-in-law and sister are nosy AMD the worst. You should cut them off, at least until you get your mental health stabilized. I'm wondering if she pushed you to this therapist specifically because she knew he'd spill the beans to your family. Not the asshole. What an egregious violation on the part of both you brother-in-law and therapist. I'm so sorry that your family members are being jerks and enabling your brother-in-law gossiping about deeply personal information. Report and sue that therapist. And when some of your family members tell you that you're a jerk for doing that to the therapist, tell them that there are laws that he broke. Not the asshole. Report the therapist. Not the asshole. Your brother-in-law isn't your therapist. He shouldn't be talking to you about something so sensitive unprovoked, let alone in front of your family. That's a rough situation, but you shouldn't feel bad. I always say that yelling is never necessary, but I don't think you should feel bad for having a negative reaction or reporting the therapist. I'm so sorry. You are not the asshole. Make sure to report the HIPAA violation to HHS and to your state licensing agency. I believe you should go see a new therapist right away. Not only are you not the asshole, but you are now feeling even more pain when you were trying to go down a road to feeling better. This can really hurt. Therapy only works when you have trust. Don't email that therapist anymore. Don't call him. Don't go see him. Go see someone else and tell them everything. They will know how to help you. Ask someone you actually do trust for a recommendation. You'll be surprised how many people know good therapists. Or go to your city's subreddit and ask for a rec. But go see someone new. Don't let this bad situation with family keep you from getting help. You are so close, keep going. Not the asshole. Good luck with reporting therapist. In most countries he should be forced to close the therapy after thing like this. Not the asshole. Christ almighty, not the asshole. I'm outraged on your behalf. You have been betrayed by this therapist, so send him straight to unemployment. Bill and family can go suck a duck. Never ever speak to them again. Not the asshole. As a therapist, I can tell you that you are absolutely right and well within your rights to report your therapist for their inappropriate behavior. Breaking confidentiality for no other reason than to gossip is shocking and unprofessional. Confidentially is why people see therapists. To open up without judgment or fear of their words being repeated. I'm sorry you had to go through this and your trust has been broken while you've been trying to work through your traumatic experience. Your anger was not misplaced. Your brother-in-law should not have known any of your information from your session. Please do not blame yourself even one little bit. You have every right to be angry at your lousy therapist and your heinous bill. They violated your privacy and doctor-patient confidentiality. Please report that pseudo-therapist as soon as possible to every authority you can. I can't even wrap my head around how anyone thought that this was an appropriate conversation topic. I am so sorry for you, Op. I hope you find a real therapist you can trust. I sincerely hope the rest of your Christmas celebrations are happier for you. Not the asshole. Not the asshole for any of it. Your therapist violated your privacy and the law when he discussed your sessions with your brother-in-law. Your brother then violated your privacy and basic human decency by revealing what he knew to your entire family. The whole point of therapy is that you have a safe space to discuss the things that you need help with, and that the things you say there remain confidential so that you can speak freely. Both your therapist and your brother-in-law ruined that for you, and your brother-in-law is the one that ruined the family dinner, not you. Not the asshole. Huge ethical breach by your therapist. Hate to take someone's livelihood away, but they don't deserve to have the trust required for a therapist. Not the asshole. Your therapist should lose his license and your brother-in-law is an insensitive ass. Not the asshole. I would cut them all out of your life. What a horrible thing to do. I have PTSD and am in therapy. I would make sure you report it, and put reviews up on places that rate doctors. Not the asshole. Obviously. Fuck your therapist, your Bill, sister, and any other fuck who took their side. Since when is blatantly disregarding someone's privacy in an insanely private thing like therapy even remotely okay? These people set you up for this shit, sent you to a therapist they knew, who gossiped to them. Then they go blab to your family. Then they make this your fault? Fuck all of them with a pointy stick. You don't need this bullshit in your life. Also, super sorry to hear what you went through with your dad. Sounds fucking painful. Even more of a reason all of these dickbags should be permanently removed from your life. What do they bring you? Anything at all besides pain and sadness and frustration. Fuck em. Not the asshole. Your therapist shouldn't be exposing any of your information at all. If they need to unload, they can get their own therapist to do so. They especially shouldn't be sharing info like this with your family and friends. Your therapist is clearly in the wrong, but brother-in-law is just an overall jerk. Not only is it not his business, the fact he felt the need to recite back to you all the details is mind-boggling. I get people get curious, but at the very least he should have the tact and decency to know when to keep his mouth shut. It's proper etiquette to not bring up someone else's trauma. Not the asshole. As a mental health professional, if I get a client that I know personally or have a connection with through friends or family, I refer them elsewhere. It's a huge conflict of interest. Your therapist was A, obligated to inform you of the connection as soon as he knew about it, B, should have referred you to a different therapist, and C, he totally violated your HIPAA rights by sharing personal details of your therapy without your permission. Please report this guy. And again, sue not the asshole. Your brother-in-law also just violated your HIPAA rights in front of the whole family. Of course you're upset, why would you not be upset? Not the asshole and I'm so sorry this happened to you. Inexcusable. Not the asshole. Good on you for reporting the therapist, I see too many people on here with people questioning. Your reaction was also in no way an overreaction. What a total violation of your privacy. I am so sorry for your loss. Not the asshole, why could your brother-in-law ever think this was an okay thing to do? Also, I hate when people try to invalidate others' feelings saying, you ruined dinner, read the room. Not the asshole. What in the ever-loving fuck? Report that therapist any way you can and I would leave Google and Yelp reviews on his business as well. That is highly unprofessional and completely defeats the purpose. Please don't let this affect your view of therapy. I have been with my therapist since the 5th grade and she has never once released any info about me and has helped me immensely. Not the asshole. Report that therapist. This is a huge violation of ethics and of policy and your therapist deserves to lose their job. Who even knows how many other people they've done this to? How many other people's personal lives they've gossiped about and spread all around? They're using patients for their entertainment and they deserve to have their license removed and never practice again tbh. I'm so sorry that happened to you. But if anything like this ever happens again, I hope not. Don't give your therapist a heads up that you're reporting them. That gives them time to purge, alter, create their own story of what happened. Just cancel any future session and file your HIPAA report. Everyone just wanted a nice family Christmas, they wanted that more than caring about your therapist's massive breach of confidence. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. WTF. That is illegal and unethical on so many levels. Please report the therapist and maybe try our legal advice because that's insane. Your family is gaslighting you. Don't listen to them. If they cared about you they would be livid. Not the asshole. Most countries have laws against what this therapist did. If mine would do that, I could get her for multiple things, Datenschutz, Medizinische Schweigepflicht and more, and depending on your country, the therapist should lose the license. Because if it goes public that a therapist told everyone someone's secrets and not lose her license, no one would trust a therapist anymore. Your brother-in-law is a major asshole for bringing up things he should not know, and you not overreact it. New or die positive site, you know who not to trust. Not the asshole. You did the right thing. I hope that therapist loses their license. Seriously. Not the asshole. And as another, rather two writing under this account, therapist. Please report this behavior at the board or whatever governing body or organization there is in your state, country. Not the asshole. This is so horrid. Therapy is supposed to be a safe space. It's understandably why you're angry with brother-in-law and you 100% should report your therapist. You sure you are not on the wrong sub? I mean you are so not the asshole. And in all honestly you should be on our lawyers or something. You need AA lawyer ASAP. This will set your therapy back and you should be compensated for it. Your therapist is what stops so many people from going to therapy in the first place. He needed to lose his license ASAP.